we're back, the Nest Egg Builders, and today we are so happy to have Wesley Harris with us. Wesley is an actor who plays character parts and does commercials, and he's also a real estate investor. And today, Wesley,
Yes,
love to
ma'am.
have you, so take it away.
Nice to be here. I'm also the author of the upcoming book, The Retirement You Can Bank On.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, I figured if you could write a book, so can I.
Okay, good.
So I follow your lead all the time, Peggy. Anyway, I'm here because I invited myself, thought it would be kind of fun to talk and get into real estate. Bowie, my grandfather, father, and uncle were commercial and industrial real estate brokers in Dallas, Texas. And I got into my first real estate deal when I was 2. I was walking through the living room when I was 19, and my grandfather says, "Your property sold." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Your property." I'm sorry, I have a cat who's in my lap who's pushing my computer, so I may be moving once in a while. I said, "What?" He goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. When you were 2, I put some property in your name and it just sold." And that property was way out in the middle of nowhere because he was an agent and didn't want to get the reputation of buying the good properties and selling the dogs. So he made his living as an agent, made his fortune going out in the path of progress and buying land. And that land that he bought for me is now a small part of Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport.
Wow.
And that was my first lesson in market appreciation because it was nice. Anyway, then I've done some other things, but now I'm focusing on single family, but an underserved market in the single family. Everybody goes in and does rehabs and tries to buy and do all this stuff to add as much cost and profit. Whereas we find that there's a large market of people that don't check the boxes when they go into the bank to try to get a commercial loan, a conventional loan, that they're self-employed or they're 1099 workers and they make plenty of income and they're good people, but if they go in, they don't check that box that says W-2 and they get denied. So we've gone in and get the Lunch Pail Joe neighborhoods, and the rehabbing we do is just typically yard work and maybe paint on the front. But if we try to rehab it and fix it up and add $20,000 in repairs, increase the price $40,000, we've priced the people out of the market and get in on a lease option for 10 years. And so we provide long-term, for our investors, we provide the safety of they always know where their money is placed, the security of having it backed by real estate, long-term cash flow, tax benefits, high rate of return, and market appreciation. And that's it basically in a nutshell. That's what I'm here to talk about, unless you want me to talk about the fact that I may not be a doctor, but I played one on TV. I can always. So if anybody has any questions or anything, I'm here, and I can also go deeper in all the things. One of the things that I like so much about our investors, because as everybody knows, you run out of money before you run out of properties. So we're always looking for investor partners to come in, and they get the benefit of that tax. And right now, there's things that they get to deduct the replacement value on, be it the flooring, be it the kitchen, be it whatever. Even if we don't do it, we get to put it in the taxes under 179, Form 179, and you get to deduct a lot of things, full replacement cost. So we've got lots of things. Everybody's quiet. I thought that we would be opening
Do you
up.
have a presentation, or is it something a little more like getting going to go into?
Oh, this is it.
Well,
So I have a question for you, because Wesley, you said your investors, you want them to partner, but it sounded like you wanted to sell, you brought up the mortgage. So what's the point of the mortgage? Are these people, are investors partners with you, or?
they're complete partners. It's a joint venture set up. It's 50-50. So
So they own that you both, you all.
we
own
buy
the house
we buy
together?
the house and keep it in our name until the resident completes the contract, and he has up to 10 years to complete that contract. He can close out early, and if we do that, then we don't make as much money on the back end, because there's a nice thing about $500 a month for 10 years. But let me back up a little
Yeah,
bit.
so is the resident the investor? Or is the resident a tenant?
No, the resident is a tenant. He
The
paid.
resident is a tenant.
We have partner, financial partner, me, and then we find the person who wants to own their own home instead of renting. So we allow them to come in and take over the property as if they own it. We let them do any decoration, modernization, upgrade, whatever they want, because we want to get them thinking every night that they're in their own home, even though technically they haven't closed the deal yet.
Okay.
And that can be as long as I said, 10 years. So you get 10 years of at least 500 a month. The thing about it is the first year you get about $500 a month, but they have a $5,000 non-refundable purchase for the contract. So you make more than 6,000, make close to 10,000 the first year. The property cash flows. And the second year, we always have written in the contract the right to raise the rent by the market or 10%, whichever is higher. So the second year we add another $150 and another, that's $75. Well, that's split between the investor and our company. So that's $75, which doesn't sound like much, except for 12 months, that's $900. And since that's added on for 9 years, that's another $8,100 through the life of the contract. We start off with more than 60,000 with that 500 per month over 10 years is $60,000. Add 75, add 150, but then 900. So you have 9 years of 900, which is a total of $8,100. So you've got 60,000 at 81, then the next year you add 72, and those total up in your pocket over the 10 years. We don't always increase it every year, but essentially those first 2 or 3 years we do.
Okay.
Hey, Wesley, where are these properties?
Fernando's got a question.
Yeah, he went into some of the answers already. So it was the question had to do with the 10-year, like 10-year lease option. It's a long. I never heard of a 10-year lease option for a home. So
Me neither.
I'm very curious. I've done about 40 of those deals on single family homes, and I only did 1 year between 2004 and 2010. So if you, it sounds great. So 10 years, I was just curious if it goes for that long, is any of the rent going towards any equitable interest or going towards the down payment or the option consideration?
No, sir.
Okay.
They have, they get to build their credit and they get to work on getting their funding and have a long time to do that. In many cases, they come in and we buy houses wholesale, just like anybody else trying to do the thing, except we don't try to upgrade. We buy wholesale and we sell it retail, but that retail is put off in 10 years. As an example, one of my compatriots who lives in Tucson, Arizona, just bought a house for $265,000 off MLS, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 2,000 square feet. And they have a resident tenant in the house for the 10-year life, and they're already have the buyout price at $360,000. So you have $95,000 already in the contract profit.
Okay.
Bowie,
So-
yeah, oh, go ahead. And then
So
Bill
no-
has some questions.
So in order for the tenant to, so the tenant the market needs to raise enough for the house to appraise then. So either that or improvements.
Yes, you're correct on both of those. Right now, Arizona is the hottest housing market in the country. The Phoenix, where we do our work, has gone up 50% in the last 2 years.
Wow.
That's been the high. In fact, I saw a thing on the internet just recently about the fact that Phoenix is the highest inflation city in the country. That it had so many things, but that's one of the reasons why we're here. And in real estate, is inflation is real estate's best friend. I hate to say it like that, but it really is. And that's why we're here, to try to make profit. Whereas you look at the market and it went down 900 points last week. It went down 1,800 over the month of April. I don't know why anybody's in the market when they could be in real estate.
Yeah. And if the house goes to say 600,000 in 10 years from, 3 something to 600, then that's good for the tenant.
That's good for the tenant. It makes it easier for him to get a loan.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, Bowie?
But
Yeah, you've answered part of my first question was, where are you investing? Because I know you must be in Southern California, but you're investing in Phoenix. That's good. Then the second thing is, I've done quite a bit of owner finance in Texas. After 2008, we no longer can call it rent to own. That's prohibited, but just you changed it to owner finance. And but I sometimes fix up the property, or sometimes don't. But this is negotiable, but I want 10% of the purchase price as a down payment. I want them it to be very painful for them to back out of the contract, although it would be beneficial to me. And I usually partnering with someone if they did, because when we get the house back and be able to owner finance it to someone else. But we also pre-qualify them, and we look at, can you really afford this house? And if they've got too much like credit card debt and that, they can't comfortably pay that monthly mortgage or on their note, we'll turn them down because I want to be just like you're doing, Wesley. I want to be helping people, but I don't want to be stealing their money. And the other thing that's different for me is we may write a 15-year, what was that? A long one, but we want to help them, and we'll get them to a credit repair company to help them get their credit score up to where they can buy us out, get it refied, and then we get another chunk of cash when that happens. So,
okay, do you have a question?
Just the question is, how do you compare what I'm doing with what you're doing?
Well,
And
it's very similar, except for the fact that we have don't have a 10%. That would be 26,000 that they'd have to put down. We do have 5,000 for the purchase of the non-refundable for the contract. And we do want them to get involved. We also want them to be a good resident. And that's why we like them to believe that it's their home. And we do have written in the contract, because there's always death, disease, divorce, disaster that comes up. And we find about 1 out of 10 or 15 will not be able to complete the contract. And we have it written in, we'll give them $2,500 to move. We would rather have them be happy to move out instead of having to have us go to court and go through eviction and all the expense. And they're in the house mad at us, so knocking holes in the wall and doing other things. But just like you, it's so we can happily, easily take the property back and put it back on the market, because it's had appreciation.
well, then the question is, do you feel comfortable putting them in that house when they're only putting, still a lot of money, but
Well, we, just like you, we have to screen, and you have to have good income and proof of the income, and you have to have quality. It's not that they've got a 580 FICO score as much as they don't check the box on the W-2 when they go in. You can't get the conventional loan. But we want them to be happy and continue to pay. We find about 1 out of every 7.5 applicants qualify.
Okay, that's kind of
Yeah.
Okay, Seema, question? You're muted, Seema.
I had a question, but before that, I chuckled because you were talking about, you said, why would anybody want to be in the stock market? And that's only something I learned about 2 years ago, that there is a life outside the stock market.
Yep.
And on Friday, I had our quarterly meeting with our financial planner, who only cares about the stock market. And the brokerage account we have is really getting shitty returns, excuse the word, but and I am close to saying that, okay, I think it is time to cash out from it and do something else. But, I didn't know that.
Peggy and I are here to help you cash out.
No, Peggy, that's why this has all happened in the last 2 years. What I'm saying to you is, this is all. But talking about Phoenix, because I'm invested in a multifamily there. Yeah, everybody's building in Phoenix. Is at some point it going to go oversaturated?
Who knows?
Okay.
See, that's the screwy thing. You never know what the market's going to do. But Phoenix has no restrictions. What I mean by that is, it's not like Los Angeles or New York City, where you've got ocean on one side. Los Angeles has ocean and mountains and problems. So everybody's starting to get built on top of each other. And it's just absurd when the house that you get in Phoenix for $225 or $250 is $800,000 in California.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not trying to do this in California. The market doesn't allow it, really. And what was the other thing you asked? Pardon me.
No. I was just making the comment about why on earth would anybody want to be in the stock market, whereas that's all we know, and that's what people's 401ks are in. My husband's entire retirement savings are in a 401k managed by his practice, and it's all in the market because there is no other option. And same thing with my daughters, my daughters are like W-2 employees. And then the other thing, the first thing you said was all these people who go to the bank and they cannot get a loan because they are W-2 employees. The joke for us is we can get as much money as we want, but we pay the maximum tax because it's all earned income. So, you know,
That's where you like what we do with that tax benefit.
yeah.
You can either accelerate the tax or have it over 27 and a half years.
Right. Yeah. No. So those are things I'm learning, that all these people I know here in real estate I'm in Florida, who all went bankrupt in 2008. None of them can walk into a bank and get money, and they can't understand why I am not making my husband sign every piece of paper to borrow as much money as we can possibly have. But my husband is old school. He doesn't like debt. That's a whole different story. But yeah, so we have the other problem.
That's why we like to have our debt serviced by someone in the house.
So that's your
That's the way
partner
it's
you're talking
structured.
about?
Well, I'm talking about the way our deal is set up, that the resident tenant overpays
Oh,
mortgage. The mortgage in Phoenix, the typical market mortgage rate is about $500 a month less than the market rent rate. But the rent rate has gone up higher than the mortgage increase. So we're actually finding a little more return just in our old formula, but we may even raise our rents because of what's going on. Back to your question, will it get saturated? The thing about Phoenix is it has nothing to stop it. It just is in a basin and continues to grow. If you've ever flown into Phoenix, you're blown away by how wide that city is.
Yep, I can affirm that.
Yep, me too.
Just grows out and out and out, and you go, when's it going to stop?
So Wesley, talk about your partner. Say, what is the partner coming in with that you need to
The
have?
partner comes in with the down payment and let me stop a second and get my thoughts right. Anybody can do this. The thing about why we are available and we make money is because we've been doing this since 1989. John Burley, who did all the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki real estate investments, is my partner and guru. And good grief, I got a bloody arm. I didn't even know I'd been cut.
We'll get that to you, Bowie.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm guessing the cat.
There it is. Okay. That's what, I'll just take a picture of it now.
I lost my train of thought, but
So you're
as I said,
kidding about
anybody
your-
can do this. The
your
trouble is
partner, you're talking about your partner.
On the
who are your
partners-
partners? What are they coming in with? What do they get in return? What kind of contract are they in?
they get a contract where they're 50% owner. We're 51% decision maker.
But what do they have to bring in for that?
Approximately $95,000 to get involved, to get one house and get the return. The return,
$260,000 house, and they bring in 95,000.
we'll say about 95,000 because you've got to put 25% down. Plus, we always have 5,000 set aside for emergencies, because the last thing we want to do is try to call somebody on 2:00 on a Sunday afternoon when they're on the golf course and say you need more money.
So are they qualified for a loan? I don't understand. You've got a $260,000 home that you're renting out. Somebody put $5,000 down.
Well,
and now you have
that
$95,000 coming in. My math says there's a gap here.
Yeah.
okay, there is a gap there. We do have someone come in and finish the loan, but that is covered by the mortgage. And that is the fact that we've been using the same guy for over 20 years, and he understands Burley's formula. So basically, about all the qualifying you have to do is have a good FICO score.
So it's a private lender. Okay, so maybe, okay.
It's a community bank.
Okay, so you have to go in and qualify for the loan.
No, because it's a Burley deal. They already know the history, so it's already pre-qualified. That's one of the advantages of working with us if you want to be a passive investor.
But Wesley, you said they checked the FICO scores.
Well, that's not filling out the paperwork and all the forms and all that. FICO score is pretty good. I mean, you know, what do you have? 670, 720?
But they're the ones signing on the loan, not you guys.
I would say that they're not yes, they're signing on the loan, but we're making sure they never have to pay anymore.
Is there some reason you guys don't sign on the loan?
We'll sign on the loan
So what do you need a partner for if you guys will sign on the loan?
because we need, as I said, there's more property than there is money. So we get people to come in and be a partner, come in and be with us. And we take over all the maintenance, all the management, all the taxes, all the preparation. So there is a fee, a placement fee that covers the entire life of the loan. And that's $10,000.
Again, hey, Wesley, who gets first lien on the property?
I would say that the bank, the community bank, gets the first lien.
Okay, now I'm real confused.
Well, I'm confused too, because I've got to tell you, who's the first lien? I thought that would be the loan holder. And the loan holder is the bank.
Okay.
But
So
we
we
don't
just-
have
We can
anything.
choose private money and then, you know, the large amount. Well, we're in it's a different ball game, you know, because we're using private money to finance the deal, and if they can do the whole thing, they'll get first lien position. If we have to do like a certain amount for, you know,
Well, we've had one of our compatriots come in and get $5 million from an investor, and he did not want to go to get a loan. He just wanted to buy him for cash. So she got him about got him a lot more than that. Got him several houses that he just takes the cream off the top. So we'll allow somebody to come in and buy it for cash.
And you will not stay a partner?
No, we'll stay a partner.
Okay. Right, so there's no debt on the property at all.
So if they come in and put it with cash, there's no debt on the property at all.
Right, so
Most
cash flow is
people-
even better.
Most people want to leverage because you can get more return on your money, on the money that you put down.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you always have that, if the people move out, you have that
If
negative.
the people move out, we get the property.
Yeah.
I understand that, but if you have a debt on it, there's still that negative until you get somebody new in.
Yes,
So
we,
that paying it, having that partner that pays cash is a real advantage.
well, there are advantages for paying cash. There are advantages for being leveraged. And the thing about it is, we're talking about a home. And nobody, if they can afford to be in a house, would rather be in a house than in an apartment. Well, there are exceptions. There are some people who don't want to worry about lawn work, don't want to worry about this, and they live in apartments. But most people, especially with a family, want to have a home with a backyard. I remember, gosh, this is now 35 years ago, but I was over at my friend's house in Dallas, and they lived in a condo. And the mother had come in after picking up her 4-year-old son from the school and said, "Jordan said something today that just broke my heart." And we kind of looked at her and said, "What did he say?" Said somebody asked him what he wanted for his birthday, and he said a backyard. And so that's the way it is when you have a family, when you have one or two children or planning on them, you want something like a backyard where they can have a dog, where they can have their first overnight sleep out and all that other stuff. So we find it's not hard to refill the house if people move out easily. And that's why we have the contract covering with $2,500 to buy them out. So if you got a problem, just tell us in advance. Don't miss the pay date. Let us know. We'll work with you.
Good.
And I just, the reason we want the larger down payment
Is you want to hurt them.
No, don't you dare accuse me. No, we help people. But
Well, I'm not
Wesley,
trying to argue with you, Gooey. I'm just,
but can I finish? Like,
Yes, sir.
you just need to tell me to shut the heck up. I'm trying to understand what you're doing and comparing it to what I'm doing. But what we want the larger down payment, because if they move, then that negative cash flow, we can cover it if it takes us time to get another tenant in there. I don't quite understand if it's only $5,000, they move out, and unless you can get a new buyer in there real quick.
Well,
then,
we're working all the time for two things:
okay.
to find the property, to find the resident. We're looking for money to come in to help close the deal, put the gap together. But we don't stop. We've got many people who own over 100 homes. You don't sit back and take time off. It's a business, and we keep funneling people through. So it doesn't take us all that long to replace.
Okay. Well, in Texas, we don't have a problem. We used to get a new buyer in there real quick, but
Texas is a pretty hot area.
as is Florida.
Florida has now become the least affordable state.
That's true.
Over California?
That's
Oh,
what,
I forgot about California.
no, that's what
Or New York?
I read it last week that Florida was supposedly the least affordable state in the country.
Yeah, that is true. I read an article too just 2 days ago. Florida is the most expensive, and just Sarasota, the median price is $500,000, and the rents have doubled. Some of my real estate people who own homes are having a ball. They're pricing all the workers out of the area.
It also sounds like Austin, Texas also.
That's why in Phoenix, we're trying to keep the workers able to get into a home. And we make
I
money.
would love to pay $500 a month.
Well,
No, that's the profit. 500 a month.
No, that's what the renter's paying, is from what I understood.
no, you misunderstood. The renter,
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
that is the difference between
Okay.
market mortgage rate and the market rent rate is about $500.
Okay.
We charge higher than that. This is where, Bowie, we might have a little bit of a difference, but for the same purpose. You're talking about more money on a down payment. We're talking less on a down payment. We're talking more on a monthly.
And Wesley, I'm not sitting here trying to argue. I'm trying to understand.
I'm trying to explain. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. You're a good guy and you live in a great state.
We also, why we encourage them to get their credit repair, because I think most of you agree it's something like 80% of the U.S. population can't qualify for a traditional bank loan. So we want to help them, and rather than hurt them, because we get them in there, we're going to charge them a higher interest rate than they can get from the bank.
You know what?
And then, we want to help them get their credit score up there so that they can then buy it at bank rates. But in the meantime, they're paying money that it's, it's owner financing. They're buying that home. We just don't want to take 10 years. We want to help them get out of our higher rates and into a bank rate once they get their credit score back up, which we help them do, or a third party company does, so.
Right.
Yeah, you just here's more on the front end. I like that you have the higher down payment for that reason, because then you're not worried or wondering that you're going to make it over the 10 years. Because if they do end up paying it off, then you've kind of out some, or at least that's what it seems to me. It would be a little bit worried about that, Wesley, on your part. Like 10 years it's so odd to think that they're not going to buy the house for 10 years.
No, they have 10 years to buy the house. They can buy it any time in that 10 years.
Right. But, yeah.
They can buy any time.
Yep. So they're in a 10-year lease. That's all. That's the only difference. They're in a 10-year lease. Most people don't think about putting long-term leases into residential. They look up a 1 year, which is crazy. It's much better to be in a long-term, even if it's only 5 years, it's still long-term with your step-up built right in, so you don't have to do all the paperwork year after year after year and all your disclosures year after year.
Well, the lease, but I meant as far as the lease option like this, just like what most people are trying to do, that within that 3 or 4 years, they can get a conventional loan because they're paying a higher rate to be in a lease option.
Then they can buy us out.
Right. But then because you didn't take so much on the front end, that's what you're saying. Your profit's going to be a lot less because.
No, it's already written into the contract.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
We know the exit price.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's good.
And they know the exit price.
And they know the exit price.
That's the good thing.
Right. Okay, good.
Do that, Bowie? They know the exit price?
We don't know how much the property is going to appreciate, but I mean, they just buy out the loan. That we're not, I mean, we don't like, okay, well, and we're not going to raise their, we're trying to get them to refi within like 2 years. And right. Because if we help them, they show that they've got consistent payments on a quote unquote mortgage. They've done that for a couple of years. Their credit score now, rather than being in the 500s, is up in the high 700s or whatever, and now, a typical bank would say, hey, these people are showing their reliability. They can afford it. They've and they could share the numbers with the bank, and so why would the bank not, give them a traditional loan at that point?
Right. And they say the payment will go down.
Yes, absolutely.
We understand. We agree with you.
That's great.
The thing is, be careful of the credit repair companies. It sounds like you found one that's good, but there are some that give not the best advice.
Yeah.
Or try to say, well.
By the way, I'm not like doing this, finding them on my own. I'm with some very experienced, Ron LeGrand trained people. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah, and Wesley's with a really experienced person too, so that's really helpful.
Absolutely, I can tell. Yeah.
The guy's been doing it a while.
Yep. Yeah. So, Seema, to answer your question, Phoenix is in the middle of a desert, and going north and going south and going east and going west, it's all desert. So there's plenty of room for expansion of more housing.
But don't they run into some other city or town?
After 60 miles, they'll be in Tucson.
That's right.
But there's that town just south of Phoenix. I can't remember the name of it.
Tucson.
No, it's like 10 miles south.
Scottsdale.
Ooh, no, not you go in the.
Scottsdale is in the middle of Phoenix.
No, this is going.
Well, that's
south.
what I thought she was talking about. Yeah.
No, this is going south towards Tucson, but it's about 10 miles, and you go about 5 or 6 miles. I think it's 20 miles south, and it's still Phoenix, and then it hits desert, and then you hit this next town.
Yeah, is it the one where that has the college in it? Starts with a T?
Tempe,
Tempe.
No,
I think Tempe's north.
it's not in the metropolitan. It's not in Phoenix at all. It's south. Anyway,
They have a lot of little towns in Phoenix and Arizona.
they got a hotel, golf course, a couple thousand people live there. I can't remember.
Sounds like it's their answer to Palm Springs.
Casa something, that's it. Casa.
So let's buy some land in the middle of the desert and just sit on it.
Yeah, you can do
Hello,
that.
Peggy.
That's
Let's
what
get-
my grandfather did.
Yeah, come on, Peggy, let's get going.
Yeah, actually, I met a land guy years and years ago, Red, and he said, you buy land, acreage, not land, acreage of land, and every 5 years you repaint it until the city moves in to close to you. You have this freshly painted every 5 years, and about 30 years later, you probably get it sold as the town moves, and they do. They keep expanding. I mean, look at Phoenix now. Oh my God.
Oh, hey, Peggy, I pulled up a map, and then just towards Phoenix, there's Mesa, and there's Chandler, and there's a tiny little town called Etoy or something. And
Mesa and Chandler are being swallowed up by Phoenix right
oh
now.
yeah,
Yeah, it's south. It's south. It's Casa something, I believe.
really, it's not on the map. So
Not
I mean, I'm just looking at a map of but between Phoenix and Tucson, looking for that. Doesn't matter. I mean,
It doesn't matter. Anyway, I know there's about a 5 mile stretch of desert between where Phoenix ends and Casa Grande meet. See, I did remember.
Okay. Back to the original thing. If anybody wants to have long-term cash flow, tax benefits, high rate of return, and market appreciation, I'll be more than happy to talk to them at any time.
Yep, that's great.
And we have make the money as safe as possible with the
Okay.
security of real estate backing.
what about if one of us finds private money lenders? It's not our money, but we bring you the private money lender. Do we get any kind of finder's fee or anything like that?
If that's what you want, if you want to partner with the guy, that's negotiable.
Okay.
On that answer. Do you want a $3,000, $4,000 finder fee, or do you want to be partner with the guy with the money?
I think I'd rather partner, but Wesley, let's take it offline. To put in there, like at the end of this, to please put your contact information in the chat box. But
I've got to do that.
No, you don't have to do that because Bowie's working with Nika, and Nika can connect.
Yeah,
you guys.
that's right. Yeah,
Happy work through Nika.
thank you, Peggy.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make it easy for you. And Latina, hi Latina. Latina she owns several properties and she rents them. And I know she doesn't really want to lose the tenant she has, but she does teach them about financial responsibility and works with them to get their credit score up. How's that going, Latina?
It's going well. I'm working with one of my tenants right now who is interested in purchasing the home that she's in, that she's renting from me. So just kind of gathering and waiting for her to come up with the down payment that we agreed upon and then start the paperwork and get the process started. I'm going to do like a 8-year term with her at $600 a month. Which would be my cash flow. And she's going to be responsible for all the maintenance and, everything. I'm out of it.
And she realizes that, right?
Yes, she knows. She
That's
knows.
great. So terrific.
Yeah. Yep.
That's very smart. Congratulations.
Yeah.
on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then you could use that to go buy another property.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah.
Leverage.
Leverage. That's right.
Latina's really smart.
How is your development going?
Whoa. That has been,
Wild
you don't even
ride?
want to know.
Okay.
I think it's been challenging just trying to find an excavator. Excavators aren't returning my call. They're just, the follow-ups have been horrible. I feel like I'm chasing people. I've talked to so many people. I've given them house plans. I've given them all the information that's needed. And then when it comes to them following up, giving me a quote, it's been an issue. I did meet with another guy last Thursday. I think he's promising. I'm just trying not to get my hopes up. Every time I think I found somebody, I get my hopes up and then it's something totally different. So,
What
Oh,
market
did I ever
are you
give you the
looking at?
name of that girl that I know in Detroit, the contractor?
no.
I don't think I did because you were in love with your contractor. So
Yeah, well, send
I
me
will
her
give you
info.
her name. I
Okay,
will
thank
send
you.
What market are you in?
I'm in
Detroit.
actually in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, but my property is in South Lyon, which is about an hour away from Detroit, outskirts of Detroit.
Okay. It gets cold in the wintertime.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
Don't remind me. And I
No,
hate it.
I know Nika's going to give you a contractor, but I wonder if you've ever thought about calling the city wherever that land is you're going to build on and ask them if they have if they could give you the name of 2 or 3 reliable excavators.
I've asked. They can't give me any information.
At
I've
all.
no conflict of interest. So
That's what they say.
yep. Yeah, I've already checked because I'm kind of running out of options, but
Okay.
we'll see.
Never give up.
Anybody know an excavator
No, I'm not
in
giving
the
up.
Detroit area? If you do, Latina's looking for one that knows how to actually follow through
Yes.
and keep their word.
This
you.
lady that I'm giving you is a female contractor. She's a baller. You're going to love her.
Okay. Beautiful.
She's a
Beautiful.
real
Thank
estate
you.
investor as well.
Okay.
Hey,
Good.
Latina,
Thank you, Michelle.
you're probably getting pretty good prices on the buy outside of Detroit there, I would suspect.
Yes. Yes. Actually, I've owned the lot for now going on 2.5 years. I did a flip, and the flip, when I acquired the property, the home, it also came with the vacant lot. So I kept the lot. I flipped the home that I had, sold that 2 years ago. And so now I'm building on it.
Did that pay off the land, that flip?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I did. One of those. Yeah, paid off all the blank acreage.
Yep.
That's really sweet when you own it.
It is. It is. It is sweet. Yes.
You got to pay taxes on it, but that's not, if it's just land, it's not all that high. And
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So great to see you all. Thank you very, very much. Any last questions for Wesley about what he's doing or about Phoenix or?
I just want to
Whatever you
say
can think of.
this isn't not a question. I just, I really appreciate your creativeness, Wesley. Coming up with, a way to help people and and then help your investors make money. I don't fully understand it, but I'll dig in a little later
Well,
with you.
I put my contact information in the chat box, so you can
I'll take a picture of it right now.
save the chat and call me. Back to your helping people get the credit repair. I got involved with a guy named Merrill Chandler under getfundable.com, and he taught me how to take my 670, just a few little tricks, up to 850 in a few months.
What was that company?
Getfundable.com.
NET fundable, like net fundable?
Get, G-E-T,
GET. Okay.
getfundable.com. I'll give you more information if you get in touch with me.
Okay.
The-
So thank you very much, Wesley. It was a pleasure having you here. It was a really interesting and fun conversation.
I hope
Yes, sir.
it
Yes,
was.
ma'am.
I had a good time. I know that mostly you do commercial, but we commercialize it by putting it into an LLC, getting tax benefits that you don't get if you just own and rent.
All right.
But Texas is a different state and a different issue. I don't know what to do in that state.
Well, we got Bowie and he could help you with that. So let's have that be
That's right.
another conversation.
Yeah, Wes, if you want, because I don't know about Arizona real estate law and regulations, but I sure the heck do for Texas. So I'd be happy to help you, you know.
Well, I had to take people to court in Texas.
Okay. So thank you
That's-
very much.
That's another story for another
That's a
time.
whole nother story. Let's not talk
It's
about
just part of my education.
All right.
Thanks, Wesley.
Well, thank
Hey,
you.
thank you, Wesley, so much.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
everyone.
Yeah, I just wanted to stop the recording so we could, if you have another question or something like that, Bowie.
No, I just wanted to, till it get there, I don't know what I'd be asking Wesley right now. I just want to get on the phone with him and have him explain in a little more detail. And then also what he means if I can find a private money lender for him, how would I be able to be partnered in that? But, you know, I don't think, let's just, I think it'd be better if I just took that offline with Wesley.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that sounds like a
Fine.
three-way conversation between you, Wesley, and the lender.
Right. Yeah, that's what it would lead to. I just want to understand what Wesley's saying rather than a finder's fee. I'd certainly rather be a partner in there along with the lender. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he and his partner will be open to that too.
Yep.
we'll be talking.
Okay.
Yeah, so great. So we're right almost at the top of the hour. So if anybody has any other questions or comments, we are now at open session. Marcy, thanks for coming. We didn't get to say hi to you. Nick's here. Yay. Nick, thanks for coming. Glad to have you. Doug, always, we're happy to have you. And Tony, it's just a thrill that you come every week.
Sounds like there are a lot of regulars.
There are, and Gary. Oh, yeah, our late guy Gary. And Lisa is here too, our prince.
Better late than never.
That's right. Yeah, so do you have any questions or anything for Wesley? Because he came in a little late. Do you understand what he's doing?
I kind of understand. I'll watch the recording and then see if there are questions.
Okay, great.
I think Fernando still had an outstanding question.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, Wesley. What's the percentage that you keep for emergencies for each property?
It's not a percentage. We do 5,000.
5,000. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour. Thank you very much for coming.